The detention facility orbited Earth's moon, a spinning cylinder of reinforced titanium and electromagnetic shielding. Inside Cell Block 7, Kanat pressed his triple-jointed fingers against the quantum-encrypted data pad, its surface warm beneath his touch. The device had cost him 3 weeks of hoarded nutrient rations and a favor to the Centauri smuggler in Cell 42, but it was worth it. He began to write. Day 247 of captivity. They still believe I am merely a junior communications officer from the Andaxi reconnaissance fleet. They do not know I held the encryption keys to our entire battle network. Commander Orla would be proud of my discretion, though I wonder if she even remembers the analyst she left behind during the retreat at Phobos. Kanat's chromatophores flickered involuntarily, a physiological tell his species could never fully suppress. The human guards had learned to interpret the color shifts, blue for calm, red for agitation, yellow for deception. He forced his skin to a neutral gray and continued writing. The humans were remarkable in their brutality and their mercy. They had rules, the Geneva Convention they called it, extended now to extraterrestrial prisoners of war. No torture, adequate nutrition, access to medical care. Yet they were relentless in their interrogation techniques, using psychological pressure that would have made the Andaxi High Command seem gentle. Day 251 of captivity. Dr. Sarah Chen visited again today. She brings genuine curiosity about our physiology, not the clinical detachment of the other researchers. She asked about our homeworld's gravity, our circadian rhythms, whether we dream. I nearly told her about the bioluminescent forests of Andax Prime, how they sing in frequencies humans cannot hear. But I remembered Protocol 7, minimal cultural exchange. Commander Orla once said that humans were dangerous not because of their weapons, but because of their empathy. They will make you want to trust them, she warned during our final briefing. I understand now what she meant. The cell door's electromagnetic lock hummed, and Kanat quickly deactivated the data pad, slipping it into the false compartment he'd carved into his sleeping platform. A human guard appeared, Rodriguez, according to his name tag. Visitor, Rodriguez said, his translator device rendering the words in Andaxi phonemes. Kanat's chromatophores pulsed yellow before he could stop them. Visitors were rare, dangerous. They led him through corridors lined with quantum sensors that could detect weapons, communications devices, even unusual brainwave patterns. The visiting room was sparse. 2 chairs, a transparent aluminum barrier, monitoring cameras in every corner. On the other side of the barrier sat Commander Orla. His skin flashed through a spectrum of colors: shock, joy, fear, suspicion. Orla's expression remained neutral, her own chromatophores locked in disciplined gray. Junior Officer Kanat, she said formally. I have been appointed as diplomatic liaison for prisoner exchanges. Your name appeared on the preliminary lists. The words were correct, but her chromatophores told a different story. Beneath the gray, he saw micro-fluctuations, purple for urgency, green for danger, a brief flash of orange that meant play along. Commander, Kanat replied, matching her formality. I am honored that the Andaxi Collective has not forgotten its captured personnel. They spoke in careful diplomatic language for 37 minutes. To the human monitors, it would seem like a routine consular visit. But Kanat had been trained in chromatic subtext, the silent language his species used for covert communication. Through minute color shifts invisible to human eyes, Orla conveyed a devastating message. The war was going poorly. Earth's united forces had reverse-engineered Andaxi quantum drives. Human ships could now match their speed. The collective was considering a negotiated surrender, but hardliners in the High Command wanted one final offensive, a desperation strike against Earth itself that would kill billions. And Orla needed information that only Kanat possessed, the quantum encryption protocols he had memorized before his capture. With those codes, she could access the battle network, feed false intelligence to the hardliners, prevent the genocide. But giving her those codes would be treason, even if it saved lives on both sides. Day 252 of captivity. I have made my decision. Commander Orla taught me that a soldier's duty is not blind obedience, but the preservation of civilization itself. What civilization is served by the murder of billions? The humans have a saying: the only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good people to do nothing. Dr. Chen mentioned it during one of our sessions. She was talking about human history, but the principle is universal. I will give Orla the codes, I will betray my oath, and I will save my people from committing an atrocity they could never undo. Khanat encrypted the quantum protocols using a cipher he and Orla had developed years ago during their academy days on Andax Prime. He embedded the data in a cultural essay about Andaxi poetry, the kind of innocuous personal writing that prisoners were allowed to send home through diplomatic channels. The human censors would scan it for tactical information and find nothing suspicious. 3 days later, Rodriguez brought news. The war had ended. A peace treaty had been signed. The hardliners' planned offensive had been sabotaged from within, their battle computers receiving false telemetry, their fleet jumping into empty space instead of Earth orbit. "You're going home," Rodriguez said, something almost like respect in his voice. "Prisoner exchange. First transport leaves next week." Khanat's chromatophores cycled through colors he couldn't control: relief, grief, hope, guilt. He thought of the billions of humans who would never know how close they had come to annihilation. He thought of the Andaxi soldiers who would call him traitor if they ever learned the truth. He thought of Commander Orla, who had given him the choice and trusted him to make it. Final entry. Dr. Chen asked me today if I would miss Earth. I told her I would miss the questions she asked, the ones that made me think about who I wanted to be, not just who I was ordered to be. Humans are dangerous. Commander Orla was right about that. But not for the reasons our people feared. They are dangerous because they make you believe that even in war, even in captivity, you still have choices. That honor is not about following orders, but about choosing mercy when you have the power to choose cruelty. I do not know if I will be welcomed home as a returned prisoner or executed as a traitor. But I know I made the right choice, and that is enough. Khanat deactivated the datapad for the last time, erasing its memory cores with a quantum pulse. The words would disappear, but their weight would remain. Outside his cell window, Earth hung in the darkness like a blue marble, fragile, beautiful, and alive. 7 billion humans who would never know his name. He had betrayed his oath to save them, and he would do it again.